The trouble is this just kept on happening. Serbia would attack again through the left side. I mean, this guy Pavlovic started to look like an absolute beast as the game wore on. Milinkovic, the central center back here, has walked over half field multiple times. Now he's invited to just come into the England final third. Like, what is this? England beat Serbia 1-0 in their Euro 2024 opening match. It was pretty unconvincing, and basically all of the questions about Southgate and whether he can get the best out of this team, they just won't go away because the patterns keep showing up. Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. Let's take a look at Gareth's grand plan. So here what we're going to do is we're going to analyze this Serbia-England match and show what England did well, but also why things are kind of the same. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the tactical board to see the way both teams set up. First, we'll start with England. Pickford in goal, Walker on the right, Stones and Guehi in the middle, Trippier on the left-hand side. Declan Rice is the main holding midfielder with Alexander-Arnold operating a little bit on his right. Never really comes over to this side. Bukayo Saka, of course, right wing. Harry Kane up front. Bellingham and Foden. Now, Foden, everyone wants to see him inside instead of on the left wing because he's pretty damn good in the middle of the park. But so is Bellingham. So the question is, how do you make these two operate together? And that was a little bit of an issue in this game. Bellingham goes all over the place. He tries to get the ball anywhere he can. Foden stayed a little bit more in this left area, but never all the way out wide. So there's a strange balance here. Now, yes, Foden coming in means that Trippier can go forward, but he doesn't really offer all that much offensively. As for Harry Kane, he's not getting the ball very much. He only had 2 touches in the first half of this match because Bellingham and Foden are pretty much crowding out any passing lane that can go to him. Now, as for Serbia, it is an interesting setup. They actually play with a back 3 of Veljkovic, Milinkovic, and Pavlovic. The midfield 2 that are at the base are Gudel and Lukic. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic as the sort of 10 attacking midfielder, Vlahovic as a withdrawn 9, Mitrovic as the leading one, and then Kostic and Zivkovic as the wingbacks. Now, what was interesting that Serbia would do, and multiple times I had to be like, are they playing a back 4? Because Veljkovic and Pavlovic would spread way out. Gudel would sometimes drop into the back line, or Lukic would to help build out the play. By doing this, they would create more open spaces in the middle. It's Euro 2024. Come on, you got to get to a winning start in the group stage, and England did. They came out English, strong right from the beginning, and Jude Bellingham was absolutely everywhere. Here he is receiving the ball, puts it into Saka, it goes back to Rice, and he looks to the other side because, well, it's pretty crammed in here, so maybe let's go out to Guehi. I mean, you can see how high England are. Stones and Guehi as the center backs this far up the pitch is not what Serbia wanted. I think they did a very bad job early in the game of just dropping off England. Something England would do in the second half. Anyway, the ball goes out to Trippier. Foden's trying to make some kind of run, trying to get open. You see Bellingham is starting to creep across, and that's going to be important as the ball goes to Guehi here. So Guehi gets the ball, takes a touch out, and Bellingham decides, I'm going to make a run in behind. It also drags players out of position, and Bellingham is energetic enough to just do this all over the pitch. Ball goes back to Stones. He's looking up, and Bellingham is back. Foden's got his arms up in the air like, yo, I'm open. I want the ball. Stones points, sees, okay, there's too many people here. I got to go elsewhere. Gives it to Foden. Bellingham, once again, asking for the ball. Problem is Trippier is kind of tucked in here, so there isn't anyone out on the touchline to give the ball to either. So England are a little bit too crammed, and even though Foden and Bellingham can play well off each other, at this point, there's no gap to exploit, and so they go back. But Bellingham, you can see, completely pulling the strings. Just a few seconds ago, he was on this side doing it. Now he's moved over here. And that's why I think that Foden should have the license to move around the midfield a little more as well. Now, he gets the ball here, and he and Bellingham are going to try and combine. Once again, he runs off. Bellingham doesn't see anything, so he decides, I'll go to the other side. As Stones gets the ball and looks up, you see Trent Alexander-Arnold here on the right as Bukayo Saka stepped inside a little bit. This is a rotation I would like to see more from England. Saka tucking in, dragging the defenders with him, allowing Alexander-Arnold to get the ball so that he can whip crosses into Kane or Bellingham. Right here, this is a perfect example of where that might be possible. The ball out to him was a little bit slow, and so he couldn't get the ball out of his feet in time to whip it in. But because Bellingham's here, you need someone to get in here and play between the lines. And that's, I think, where Foden should run in. Declan Rice is stepping up because there's no one else over there. And I don't think that's what you want either. So as the ball comes across, Stones looks forward, and it's all crammed up. But look how far John Stones is able to carry the ball. And this is a good thing because 4 Serbian players get attracted to the ball, and it leaves Phil Foden with a little gap to pick it up. He drops it to Bellingham, and runs off. And now finally the two can combine. There's a little split here. Bellingham sees it. Foden receiving the ball on his left foot. If his touch was a little tighter to him, he might have been able to just swing with his right and smash it in. Instead, the touch got away from him and the ball gets cleared. But overall, that's the England attacking setup. It can work, and it would. Right here, they would score a goal just about 11 minutes into the game, and we'll see basically the similar types of movement and patterns. Once again, you've got Gehi and Stones in the attacking half without any pressure on the ball. I don't know why Serbia were doing this early on. It made everything easy for England. Ball goes into Rice, out to Walker, up to Saka, back to Walker, and back to Stones. Now, take a look at this. 7 Serbian players are in this wide channel, which means there's a ton of room on the other side of the field. Ball goes into Jude Bellingham, he turns, and what you would expect is someone to be given the ball here. Trippier is out of your picture, marked by Zivkovic. That's a one-on-one situation. The problem for England is that Trippier is not a one-on-one attacking player. Bellingham doesn't even bother getting the ball to Trippier. He decides, let's go back into that channel. It actually kind of works out. Walker gets it, looks up, gives the defender the eyes like he's going to play it to Saka's feet. Instead, Saka makes the run in behind. It's a really nice split. It's something we see from Saka at Arsenal all the time. Gets the cross off with his right foot. Pavlovic gets there. It actually hits his heel, ricochets down into the ground, and gets in across. And Bellingham was just not followed by Gudel, and he crashes it in. 1-0 England. As an England fan, you're thinking, keep going. Guys, let's go. Let's get another one and really put this game to bed. Kyle Walker would have an amazing opportunity just moments later. Once again, it highlights Bellingham's qualities, this time defensively. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic gets the ball, bodies off, but look at this tackle from Bellingham. Gets his foot on the other side of the ball, sort of back heel tackles it. It's clean. Milinkovic-Savic loses the ball. The first to react is Vlahovic. He does very well to get there and get it on his feet and get it under control. And he looks up to the other side because he sees a switch is available. You can actually see Trent here notices it. And you're going to see right here, saw that the ball was going there. Had Vlahovic's ball been on the ground and right into the feet of Kostic, could have been a dangerous situation. But it's well read, cut out by Alexander-Arnold. It goes to Saka, and now the break is on. Kyle Walker running at warp speed. Saka plays him in very well. And right here, I was like, oh my God, he's taking a great touch. He has an opportunity to shoot himself. So Walker, you're here. Take it yourself. But Pavlovic does well to lean on him just a little bit, put him off balance. The ball harmlessly goes across the 6-yard box, and England lose a chance to go up 2-0. And now Serbia would finally show us what they were made of a little bit, because for the first 20 minutes of the match, they just didn't even have the ball. Here is what it looks like. They are super spread out. Pavlovic, the left center back, way out here. Milinkovic, the central center back. Veljkovic, the right center back. The center midfielders, Gudel and Lukic, would drop into the back line to receive the ball. So Lukic gets it here. And actually, England are pressing. This is Alexander-Arnold going all the way out to force Serbia to hopefully make mistakes. Lukic doesn't have an option, turns, doesn't see anything here, steps over the ball, goes the other way. But here is the key to Serbia's formation. Because they are also spread out, England players will also be defensively spread apart. And that means that there are gaps to play through. Here's the split. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic makes himself available, and he's able to receive the ball. Sergei plays the ball over to Zivkovic. He gets his head up and now plays it into Vlahovic. Now, Vlahovic does not have enough pressure here. And if he can hit an outside of the boot pass that just sort of curls into this area, I mean, they got a 2-on-1. Instead, takes a right-footed touch out of his feet and allows Bellingham to come back and snuff it out. And as the first half continued, you started to see where the breakdown in England's midfield defensively is. When you've got guys like Foden and Bellingham, who, as I said, kind of step on each other's toes, not only offensively is that an issue, it is defensively as well. Veljkovic gets the ball, plays it into Lukic, who looks forward. And once again, he's like, I want options. I want someone to play the ball forward to. Doesn't really have anything, so he turns back. Gudel has made himself as part of the back four in this scenario, so it can go to him, and now he can start walking forward with the ball and see if he can find options. And as Gudel comes forward with the ball, switches it again. Very simple work by Serbia to go side to side, but it also forces England to drop back. And this is great for Serbia because now they can have runners go. You see Vlahovic here is going to make a little darting run in to try and see if Stones will follow him. Out it goes to Veljkovic and to Zivkovic. Now, Jude Bellingham, I think is too far in. He's ball watching, he's running. Foden's already here. Trippier's marking up as well. Kane does not really know what he should be doing because as the ball is at Zivkovic's feet here, I think Kane thought maybe it's going back this way and I should press. Bellingham, I think, should be a few yards back in here, just basically marking up because Trent is actually in the right spot. I think he's offering a good deal of balance. Everything else is cut off. But as Kane runs away because he thought the ball was going backwards, Bellingham and Foden get split, and watch them. They both put their arms up like, well, who's marking him? Bellingham, that's your guy. And now Serbia are able to switch the ball, and this is where they can be dangerous because they've got Filip Kostic out on the left-hand side. He is a very experienced player who has made a career out of setting up goals from just this position, crosses the ball in, and England do deal with it. So that leaves us 1-0 going into halftime. England did pretty well in the first half, completely dominated, but the reversal in the second half was astounding. And this is where I gotta call on Gareth Southgate's biggest criticisms. The first one is that he does not really get the best out of this team from the start, that he does not set them up in a way to get the most out of all the talent he has. Second thing is the in-game changes, that he doesn't do them early enough or he doesn't do them at all, and so England tend to lose from positions of superiority. The third criticism was that Southgate was too loyal to players who weren't in form or playing. He shed that one by getting rid of Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire, Calvin Phillips, and the like, but the first two problems are still an issue, and in this second half, that would be so abundantly clear. Now, Serbia did make a couple substitutions. Let me just touch on those real quick. Kostic would have to go off in the first half, and that meant that Mladenovic took his spot as a left wing back, and then Ilic came on for Gudel. Nothing else changed for Serbia, except the fact that England dropped way off. So in the second half, when Serbia had the ball, this is kind of what it looked like. You had Pavlovic, the left center back, pushing way up into this area, allowing Mladenovic to go even higher. Saka, instead of sort of staying up here and pressing, he just dropped into the midfield, which is a problem because that means you don't have him as a counterattacking outlet. Saka's game is not to run from deep and go forward. And then across the midfield, it just felt really, really stale. No one was pressing the ball, not Kane, not anybody, and they were just allowing Milinkovic to just dribble the ball up into the attacking half, and then Serbia were able to find runners, switch the play. It just caused all kind of problems. So let's take a look at those situations. As Milinkovic comes forward with the ball, he's just strolling with it. Here you're going to see Lukic try and make a run through. Is it really to get the ball? I don't think so. I think it's just to get Stones out of that area. And now that Stones has followed him, he's going to tuck back in and ask for the ball. And this is what Serbia would do very well. So the ball goes out here to Pavlovic. He would be a thorn in England's side all the second half. He drops it in. Now the key here is Vlahovic. He is going to make the run off behind John Stones. Gehi's going to follow him. Mladenovic does the underlap in behind, and he would do this multiple times in the second half. It would cause Kyle Walker a whole bunch of problems. The control here from Vlahovic is sensational. He drags it down. He takes on Gehi, beats him, crosses it, and my goodness, was that close. If you need another look at it, Mladenovic, if he just gets his timing right on this, he scores, but that was a major warning shot, and it would just keep on coming. Once again, England just dropping off. You actually got Kane way back here covering Ilic, but Milinkovic has just walked up into the England half and is like, here you go, and just gives it to one of his teammates who's now able to look forward. Lukic probing, looking for an option, doesn't really have anything, but look, he's just advanced this far, and still nobody is pressuring the ball. Bellingham should have been doing it earlier. Saka is now way back in the midfield. Yes, England are kind of safe because they're super compact, but by doing this, you just invite a team, especially with good players, to look for options. Pavlovic gets it. Mitrovic is like, go back. Lukic as well gets the signal. Let's cycle it back the other way. And now Sergei Milinkovic-Savic sees an opportunity. As the ball goes wide, he checks in. He notices, ooh, Zivkovic is isolated one-on-one with Trippier, and there's a big gap. Can I play this ball one touch? He tries, but the pass is just a little too heavy and it rolls out of play. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold is such an interesting figure. Him being in midfield is not the weirdest idea, and I actually thought he did generally fine. He did give up the ball twice in ways he shouldn't have earlier in the game, basically exposed that he's not really a 360 player, but what he can do is sort of the Toni Kroos role. He can drop in behind the fullbacks, be part of the back line, look forward, and hit big switches of play. Here, he sees Trippier out on the far side, says, I'm going to hit that ball. And it's right onto Trippier. It's fantastic. It helps England just get up the field. Ball gets dropped into Kane. He plays it to Bellingham. And now there's a little bit more combination play that can be had. Bellingham goes into Foden, little 1-2, into Rice. And look who has joined the attack. Trent Alexander-Arnold. And this is a position we have seen many times in his time at Liverpool. The shot's good. It's on target, right at the goalie, but it's swerving all over the place. So the keeper just basically punches it away. But it's not over. There's another passage of play coming. Alexander-Arnold gets the ball back. Walker steps over, plays it into Saka. And this is the little flick that should have happened. If Saka just backheels the ball right behind him into this area, Alexander-Arnold is through and he can feed in someone who's in the box. Unfortunately, Saka doesn't really recognize that, but he's able to get it off his feet, play it into Bellingham, and run off himself. Bellingham, in traffic, does very well to get the ball out of it. And this is something you gotta love about Bellingham. Look at his desire to take control of the situation. He puts his hand out like, I got it, Kyle, I got it. Kyle's like, young man, it's okay. I'll give the ball to Rice. And now that everyone has shifted across, there's a massive gap. Take a look at Saka. He has dragged Pavlovic with him. And Alexander-Arnold is wide open, very free on the side. It's a simple ball from Rice. He plays it very well. And in goes Alexander-Arnold. As I said, this is a rotation I would like to see them do more. Alexander-Arnold gets in. Jude Bellingham's running inside the box. He finds him. Tries to do similar to what Jamal Musiala did, but the touch is a little bit heavy, and Serbia are able to break it down and clear. Now, that unfortunately would be really one of the last attacks for England. They just kept inviting the pressure, and they did not handle this well. Once again, Milinkovic gets the ball, and he's just gonna stroll forward. Harry Kane, just get over here. Just put him under pressure. Make him get rid of the ball, because if he gets rid of it now, Saka can go press, and they don't cross half field. But everyone drops off. So once again, no one has pressured Milinkovic. He's walked right up into the England half, gets the ball to Pavlovic, and now finally Saka can go and press him. It's too late. Pavlovic has already seen the pass. He goes inside, and you're going to see another underlap here from Mladenovic. Here he goes, running inside. Walker has let him go. Stones can't keep up with him with the pace, and he's in. If the ball is a good delivery, England could easily get scored on. Stones does a great job of really getting something on the cross, slows it down, and Pickford is able to smother it. The trouble is this just kept on happening. Serbia would attack again through the left side. I mean, this guy Pavlovic started to look like an absolute beast as the game wore on. This guy should not be receiving the ball this high with so little pressure. Saka was basically completely ineffective in the second half because of how deep he was asked to drop. But this is just really negative from England, and it was disappointing. Once again, Serbia are able to just move the ball across their back line. Midfielders are able to come in and pick it up, and there is no pressure whatsoever. Watch this. Milinkovic, the central center back here, has walked over half field multiple times. Now he's invited to just come into the England final third. Like, what is this? He try and do a couple combinations. He gets the ball back, and now he's going to look to penetrate. He starts walking forward, goes to Pavlovic. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is making a run in. Someone needs to keep an eye on him and follow him, which is exactly what John Stones is going to do. So the ball is going to get chipped into the corner. Mladenovic reads, it's over me. I need to make the underlapping run, which he immediately does. And Sergej Milinkovic-Savic pulls out a trick from the bag. It's absolutely terrific execution. Stones is left for dead. And if Mladenovic's first touch is better here, he becomes way more dangerous. But once he gets into this zone, Rice gets over, crowds him out a little bit. It goes to Milinkovic-Savic, who tries to cross it. England clear their lines, but it would happen again. Look how deep the entire England team is. This is not what we want to see from them as the tournament continues, because I'm just showing how Serbia were able to cause England problems, and they had no cutting edge whatsoever. Imagine a team like France. Look how deep everyone is. Saka doesn't know whether to pressure the ball, whether to cut off a pass. He does neither, and Pavlovic feeds him Mladenovic, whips a ball in, and once again, England are able to deal with this one. So fortunately for England, that was just about the last attack Serbia had. Here is England's big chance to finish the game. And it really should have been a goal. Jared Bowen coming on the field, making a pretty much immediate impact. There's a free kick here. Looks like Jared Bowen's going to take it, but no. Now he walks away from it. Walker comes up and plays him. Jared Bowen, very effective player all season long. Skins Mladenovic, crosses the ball in. Harry Kane with the header maybe would have been a foul. I'm not sure. Either way, Rajkovic comes up with a pretty unbelievable save, pushing it off the bar. And in the end, England win 1-0. But the questions will persist about Gareth Southgate and his grand plan to win these Euros. England cannot be taking 1-0 leads and just dropping off like that in the second half of matches. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. The Euros are fantastic. It's going to be such a good competition. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.